It's the end of June, and your brassicas need some help. All right, cut the intro. We don't have time for it. Dude, look at what's going on with my brassicas. They are getting skeletonized out here. There is a huge emergency happening right now, and we are in the depths of it. I am suffering a whole bed's worth of damage right now. So in this video, I am going to tell you how to take care of your brassicas during the blazing summertime. First things first, when you have skeletonized like brassicas, you just have to accept that this thing has made its peace with the universe and rip it out of the ground, because it means that it is foreshadowing devastating things for your garden. This is like the first bit of the apocalypse, and then there's like drought and then there's soil famine. It's ridiculous. So first things first, when you notice huge damage to your entire bed of vegetables, go ahead and make some hard decisions and take the vegetables that are truly damaged out. This is a pretty young cabbage. Maybe it could have survived, but it's probably going to do better in my compost pile. So what I'm sure many of yins are dealing with is actually a aphid infestation in the brassica bed. We are in the throes of summer. Actually, for the first time around here, it's been very monsoony, very rainy. A lot of insects have been out. The weeds have been growing so fast because of so much torrential rain that we've been having around here. So now we're in the actual summer and it starts to poke its head out with a nice 90-degree week. Right now it is about 95 degrees. Humidity is high, and I probably shouldn't be out here without proper hydration. If you are working hard days in the summer, please take care of yourself. You can't garden if you yourself are getting messed up out here, so stay shaded when you can, and please properly hydrate. And then you can panic about all the goddamn insects that are coming around in your yard. So the damage is obvious. Once you're walking past the bed day by day, you'll start to see small little holes, and then you'll wake up one morning and an entire plant is nothing but stems, because these insects lay eggs in the crevices of all of these plants. They actually love the branch extension points of things like your kale, your collards, your bok choy. So once I get the very infected plants out of the bed, there's no saving them. Get them in the compost pile. The next step is actually to take a breath, take a seat, take a drink of water, and really look at your bed. Now, I know that my bed is a complete mess. I have been weeding everywhere else around the yard except for in here. So the second step, or maybe first true step of taking care of your brassicas during the summer, is the boring mundane weeding, because all of these tall grasses that are around your plants just foster tons of insects that are going to eat your plants up. It's actually perfect housing. I've been seeing tons of slugs in the tall grass around my yard that I wasn't able to get to because we had 2 weeks of rain just happen. So staying up on your weeding is so important. So as you're going about your weeding business, you are bound to come across, lower leaves of your brassicas that just look very dead and yellow. You want to make sure that you get these lower leaves off the ground as much as possible, because the soil brings more soil-borne kind of pathogens, which would then attack your plants. You also may come across, your lettuce that looks monstrous, and for 2 seconds you're gonna be like, oh man, this is the greatest thing that ever happened, but actually it is the worst. It means that your lettuce has gone to seed, just like how your spinach may go to seed. My bok choy actually started to put out flowers, and at that point you're gonna start to see this white milkiness that comes out of the plant, which really gives it a bitter taste, and all these leaves just kind of ruin, it doesn't give a nice, great feel. Also, because this plant has been dying back, because once your plant goes to seed, it starts to die back, And decaying matter actually attracts your slugs. It attracts your aphids. I can see already in the crevices, there were so many little egg sacs in this plant right here, which is actually not even functional to me. So the best thing, again, is to put this baby right in the compost because it's not doing any use out here. Now, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Do you like gardening? Are there children in or around your life? Do you want to help introduce the wonders of gardening to those young, impressionable minds? If you said yes to all three, then maybe consider buying my children's coloring book, ABCs in the Garden. My wonderful little children's book is actually filled with over 32 pages of coloring goodness for any child that's around your life. Packed to the brim with educational content and double page layouts, this is the type of book that you can actually participate with the child who is coloring by teaching them about the garden, different vegetables in the garden. This book has been a passion project for me, and I would just like to say thank you to all the folks who have sent me pictures of the young ones in their lives actually coloring and scribbling and learning. Thank you so much for your support. And if you would like to purchase a copy of ABCs in the Garden, please check the Amazon link below and it should queue you right on up. Thank you. Now back to the gardening. All right, so we have survived the nasty weeding part and the intense heat of the day. As you can see, it is now later in the afternoon, much later, because I've been taking proper breaks as you should. And you know, the sun is going down. This bed was perfect for all the brassicas because it does receive such early shade compared to the other side of the yard, which is still, I would say, 85% lit and receiving, you know, that intense sun. It is still very hot. Do not get it twisted. Please excuse the rags that I am wearing today, because if YouTube would let me garden shirtless, I would. And you know what? If this video gets 50,000 views, I'll garden shirtless, probably and happily, because it's hot as hell out here. Let's get to the actual core of the problem, though, which are the aphids. This is still a infested bed area of aphids, and the core problem is the fact that there are so many sacks of eggs everywhere within every single plant in here. There are actually like just bundles of nasty, disgusting looking insect like nest. It's so gross. I hate it. But they have, you know, they're here. So we have to deal with it. And actually it is very, very easy to deal with because all you need is your hose. Scientists, botanists, and, you know, long generational gardeners all agree that once you spray off the aphids and the aphid eggs, they actually don't have enough energy to crawl back up, you know, your tall, whatever they're on, actually. So as long as you get them on the ground, they are there to actually just die on the ground. So you want to get your hose, maybe put it on a full or a flat setting, and really just get in there. Get into the crevices, because that is exactly where they're living. I am going to go through this entire bed because I have the insect netting all around, which means there is a low chance of like more and more insects getting in here. But the ones that live here, the ones that are here right now, they have so much time to prosper. You know, I'm basically set up a hotel for them. So make sure that you get in here and really, really knock them off. So one thing I really want to point out is the fact that there are, you know, many different bugs that are going to attack your brassicas, especially during these nice summer months when everything's like very alive. So for me right now, at this current moment, it's aphids. But in a month, it might be caterpillars. And a month after that, it might be something else. So as you're going through, and if you're dealing with aphids, you know, spraying down, you want to go ahead and look up under the leaves as well, because although all the leaves have a bit of damage, there are certainly going to be ones that are way more damaged than the others. And I could put $5 that there is a living caterpillar right up under here. Check underneath
your big leaves. These insects, they're not too stupid. They understand protection, and they understand underneath the leaf is probably the best place they can be. So don't forget, as you're checking the stem like armpits to go ahead and check up under the leaves, because there they can also foster, and you can either squish them with your hands if you're that type of person, or spray them down, or just take the entire leaf out and really just live to grow another day. All right, and the final step of taking care of your brassicas is actually eating them. I feel like so many people in the gardening space, they grow for the aesthetics and they don't really consume the food that they've been putting all this hard work into. Make sure you are eating these leaves, especially like things like brassicas, where it's not a fruit. Your leaves will get a little bit bigger, but for the most part, if you have a nice brassica bed, there are more than enough greens, and it's a great time to really get in here and take the lower leaves before they can even grow big enough to hit the bottom of the ground. If you aren't going to eat these things, the insects will. So please eat your damn greens. I'm sure your doctor will agree as well. I want to thank everybody who has been with me on this gardening journey. I just got the email from YouTube to do a YouTube partnership, which means that I would actually start making some funds from this. I would be able to offer a few things here on the YouTube website, and none of that would have been possible without amazing viewers who were like digging my nice little corner content over here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I want to thank you so much. So I'll see you in soon, and until next time, I'll be here gardening.